Welcome to The Submission. It's a wildly innovative 13-day literary agency simulation built just for high schoolers.
So how do you teach teens complex cognitive biases without them ever realizing they're actually learning psychology? Well, you hide the curriculum inside a high-stakes, real-world experience. We call this the Discovery First rule. Students literally play junior literary agents, pitching a debut novel across 13 days and 14 different editors.
They have to handle rejections, make tough mid-campaign calls, and totally adapt their strategy as new data rolls in.
The brilliant twist? The vocabulary. Academic names for biases are strictly banned until the very last day.
Instead, students use industry terms like list momentum, only to discover later they were navigating the sunk cost fallacy.
The whole mechanic trains them to read rejection letters cumulatively, treating editorial passes as pure market data.
To pull this off, students use a 7-tier evidence hierarchy to classify all those incoming rejections objectively. The biggest trap, though? Confusing a super polite, warm pass with a harsh but incredibly useful diagnostic pass.
A glowing rejection feels like a near win, right? That actively tests a student's halo effect bias.
They really have to learn to separate fancy rhetorical polish from actual evidentiary weights to make smart calls.
This brings us to the simulation's golden rule. It's a fascinating, kind of counterintuitive principle called boring choice wins. Basically, methodically logging evidence and testing hypotheses will always outperform making those dramatic, reactive choices. So, a student who methodically logs a flat 8-word rejection and weighs it against new data actually scores higher. You assess all this by grading their decision path under uncertainty, rather than just judging their final conclusion.
On key inflection days, students actually commit to paths in writing, logically justifying them with the current evidence.
The final memo tests this hard, forcing students to argue against their very own recommendation. Pretty intense.
Teachers guide this daily rhythm: diagnose, intervene, implement, evaluate, and it fits perfectly into standard 50-minute class periods.
Ultimately, students practice productive failure recovery. They learn to see rejection as market data, not a personal verdict.
So, how could grading the decision path over the final conclusion entirely transform your own classroom?